Hey guys, this is Josh from Curian. I am here to talk to you and give you an in-depth look at the log file that you get with your N2 neuron after you've taken some measurements and exported them. In this case, we had taken a few measurements of a fuel sending unit, and I'm going to show you that in a little bit here. But we have taken the measurements, we logged it directly to the SD card. We went ahead and emailed that directly to ourselves. I've opened it up here in Excel, and you can open it in Excel, or you can actually open it in Numbers or any other plotting type software. Now, where you may have to modify it when using plotting software, the log files are actually going to give you all of the different times that you've logged, so you may need to clean that up a little bit. But what we're going to go ahead and do is talk a little bit about this column A, column B, and column C, what they are, why they are, and how to use them. So up here at the top, this is just some Curian information, so we may ask you for some of this information if you ever call in for support. But this is talking about a revision model. This has to do with the firmware, the lot in which the N2 came from, and the firmware version. We do have, as you know, 2 channels on the N2, so we are consistently measuring out both channels at the same time. Now here we talk a little bit about these are the 2 measurements that you would have in that particular log file or log reading, and then this is the sample rate information. In this case, we had a buffer rate of 32, and we were measuring at 125 hertz. So to talk to you a little bit more, this particular area, so it looks like here. So this will be one log file. It was on and off for just a moment. This is another and another. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, since we don't need these, I'm just going to delete them out from where we were. And that will be okay. So that is what we're going to be using. You just have to know what you're looking for. In this case, this information, you can delete it as well. We don't need it net. Channel 1 is the degrees K in Celsius, which would be our internal thermometer. And what this is telling us is that channel 2 was measuring ohms, and we were at the 1K ohms ranging. We were measuring at a sample rate of 125 hertz with our buffer depth of 32. Now these 3 columns, UTC Time SEC, channel 1, and channel 2, are going to be, this is the timestamp, UTC is a timestamp. Channel 1, these are the measurements, and channel 2, these are the measurements. Now I'm going to show you a little bit. Sometimes we do get this where your software wants to give you a weird number like this. And what's happened is your software just automatically assumed that that was a scientific reading, which I guess it kind of could be, but in this case it is not. So you just want to go ahead and format those back to general numbers, or a number in the general field. So here we have our full measurement readout, and quite simply, and this is going to vary a little bit on your software, whether you're using a newer or an older version of Excel or Numbers, but I will just hit insert, and I want to see a chart, and you know what, a line chart is pretty good. And this is what we were doing with our fuel sender unit. We hooked the N2 up to the fuel sender unit. We were testing to see whether or not it was the issue that was causing the funky reading on the fuel gauge at the dash. So as we connected the N2 to the fuel sender unit, we pulled the float up and down. We did not catch any spikes. It was not causing the faulty readings at the dash. So here we can actually see the information presented visually as we had seen it in the app, but we in this, for the example purpose, just logged that to the SD card. Also, if we wanted to see perhaps we were measuring something else that was relevant, we can do the same thing with the temperature and say, hey, we want to go ahead and see a line chart. And in this case, I want to see those values. And here we go. And of course, if I was making any sort of determination about this data, I can now take a look at it, understand it, relate it to what I was doing, and I've got myself a nice piece of information. And if you are actually, wanting to share that with a customer, this is on your computer, and you can do that however you'd please. Now, one thing that folks do ask about is, what is UTC Time SEC? So this is actually the timestamp, and the N2 is timestamping your readings in something called Unix timecode. And so this may or may not be automatically converted on your software. If it is not converted on your software, we can actually come in and do a conversion for this, and I will put the conversion information in the description of the video and the title information. So it will be divided out. What we're going to do is we're going to divide out the UTC Time SEC field, or that column or that cell, by 86,400. Then we're going to add the date of 1970, January 1st. In this particular formula, you hit enter, and we, in just a moment, will get a date. So we can get a date and time as well. Let's hold on here. So we're able to convert that to a date and a time. And in this case, now that we've done that, I've gone ahead and, obviously taken that and run the information here. So perfect. There we go. So on February 17th at 8:30 p.m., we were able to take these measurements and have that information for us. Well, thank you very much. If there are any questions, please do message us. We're going to go ahead and put, again, this formula into the description. We showed you guys how to format these cells correctly, what the different fields of data were, what they meant. And yeah, so please do call us, email us with any questions. We're more than happy to help you out. Thanks so much and have a great day.